Welcome to my channel. Let's start with the first scenario. Let's leave a little bit of the white cop and let's see what happens between you. Obvious number one in these coming days, and especially in the beginning of December, that is going to happen between you two of you certain will pass. Okay, well, she wanted to get out. So we're gonna get her out. She's turned around. And besides, he didn't let me even catch it. Have they run like saying I stay here perfect? What will happen between you? In the next few days, decisions. Am I seeing important decisions by writing that the country is there on that path that I do or that we do? Which path we should take, what decision I should or should take, I see sentimental decisions that have to do with feelings, with love, and decisions that even have to deal with two people and with two ways from the first to the first for forgiveness. During these first few days, I see that the need to make decisions precisely for some kind of blockade or some sort of postponement that has been taken for a long time. I'm going to take out some more letters because I feel there's something important we need to know, and I need some guidance on the letters. I feel like this person is living or feels that he is living a period of scarcity, of little abundance in his life in all aspects, including the emotional, sentimental. I think what I'm seeing is something you want to change. I feel that this person wants to restart, wants to turn his life around and wants to get out of the shortage and want to get off the imbalance. I want to find a general balance and stability in all aspects of your life, but also above all in emotional terms, because I feel that the emotions at this moment are a little distracting this person, or they are creating some uncertainty, and let's say that you are focusing attention a little bit negatively, because no matter how well I am in the other areas, if I suddenly put the focus, I don't have love. Love isn't good for me. Love is not. I don't have enough. You're already focusing on the shortage, and I have the feeling that it's a bit of what's happening to this person, what is happening in this scenario. So at first I see that this person is going to be thinking it is true that in the first few days, I am not seeing actions. What I am seeing is internally and lose internally the predisposition to change, because I am already realizing that I have something to do, that here I have to make decisions, that I must do a little more of the case to my emotions, to my sensations, and to where I really want to focus my life or want to redirect. Because here's a very powerful component of starting again, starting from scratch. So clearly this person may be thinking about a move, a trip, an important change, maybe something that has to do with his job as well. This person has a company or works in something that obviously, if he moves from city or country, has to leave behind or have to make certain changes. So that's why I feel that everything goes a little bit in common or together. It is true that although the first few days I see rather the intention of making decisions and of deciding because something I have to leave behind, and I know that what I must leave behind, above all, is that feeling or that life in scarcity that I lead. Yeah, it's true that then I see a lot of initiative, I see lots of potential, and I see plenty of action, and a lot more energy. This could be happening as in the middle of the month, even a little deeper. December almost. I'm feeling that it could even be tickets already, parties, ballet. I see a person with initiative, with determination, who is making decisions and who is suddenly having a strength, an empowerment that he did not have before, and is fighting for what he wants, where I used to see only obstacles, confusion or doubts, that it caused me to generate stagnation and scarcity, and now I am able to persuade myself to see which way I want to take and take it. I will not wait for anyone to bring it to me, nor will I wait for anyone to bring it to me, nor will I wait for life to put me in the way. I'm going to be the one who puts me in the way of life. That way I will allow myself to start from scratch. I will seek that new beginning for myself. This new beginning has to do with new communications. It is a new attitude towards you, new approaches. Especially because from the perspective that I am seeing the letters there is here. Option 1. I feel that this person starts taking control of his life, or starts making important decisions, and in those decisions it comes to choosing love. Choose the choosing love. Choose the true feelings, or choose the person that I really always carry inside of me. and so I finally take actions. Therefore, take action. I decide. I struggle for it. I strive. I sacrifice and allow things to be new, completely new, because I feel that this person is going to feel a little vulnerable. Maybe he is not used to or used to acting this way, and this change will make him connect a little with this feeling of being a learner, of being new, of living something entirely new, not knowing how to do it, of having to be careful and also to make a lot of effort in taking care of the details and in making sure that everything goes well and that everything is perfect so that it is not noticed so much that I am a beginner or I am an apprentice. So for now, this is what I can see in these maybe not first days. As we have said, I have seen that the action begins to happen for me already a bit past, maybe 2 or 3 weeks from today's reading more or less. You know that it is a general reading or to each one because it fits in a way, but in general I think it is quite a reading, quite powerful, quite strong. And we're going to ask you for a letter to the energy oracle to finally see what it means to you. As a final supplement to this reading, let us see what remains. Well, it was clear action. Moreover, this letter is one of the letters that I have always liked most in this oracle. Look how beautiful this letter is! Action! A horse that goes galloping, we could say quite fast, and another horse going behind, trying to catch his step. For me, this is very significant because it is precisely what it is, as very connected with the reading that we have just had. Not a slowed, overwhelmed person, without the ability or clarity to make decisions, and suddenly realizing what he wants, and realizing that what he also wants goes faster, and therefore he has to put himself up. So I think what the message has wanted to supplement is that what we read today is really what we had to read. The message is like this. That's how you had to receive it, and this is how you had to receive it, and this is how you were supposed to confirm it. So Scenario 1, I hope wholeheartedly have been able to help you. I'm sending you a super big kiss, and we'll see you in the next practical Scenario 2. We're already with you, White Copito Beta. Let's see what happens between you in these coming days. Next days, first days of December. Let's see what happens between you, among you. Well, it is appearing to me already from the first letter I have felt the energy very intense, and letter after letter are leaving me as very flushed, because we are in front of a reading that could even tell you that if you have just seen the first literal, if you already saw the first, seen the first literal, if you already saw the first reading and you are here, you will understand me in what I am going to tell you, because it is that they are linked. If you've only come to this one, don't worry. The first message was not for you. But it's okay. You see a strong, empowered, determined person taking action, but one after the other, doing what's in his hand, doing what he has to do, with very clear ideas, very firm ideas, with an energy of myself. I am what I want to be, and I build in my life what I wish to build. I won't wait for anyone to give it to me or take it away from me. And what do I want? I want to be happy with the person I love. I want to have a family. I want a coexistence. I want peace, harmony, happiness, love, well-being. I want everything. It's that I don't agree with half anymore, with half. I do not want everything, and that's what it is. I feel like this person, and he's getting engaged. He is proposing to end the year, or rather not to finish the year without having achieved his dream, his realization, having fulfilled the dream of forming a family, so that you can be together, that you may devote yourself to love, that you may start or initiate that relationship. That link I have not felt so powerful, that is why I have joined. It has seemed to me that this is a continuation or threaded with the first scenario. But I repeat, if you didn't come from the first scenario, it's okay. This is what you have to listen to. Well, let's put some more spectacular letters. My mother, what an impressive shot. Well, look, I'm feeling it like a little bit here. Like a bit of advice more than what's going to happen between you. These last 2 letters, I felt a little like advice of nothing is wrong. There is no need to run calmly, which is worth it, and for which it is worth it, and for which it is worth fighting. Don't worry, because if you fight, you'll get it, but you won't run. I don't know why I felt like a little bit of the break, and even like you at some point had to break it, because this person is going to come with a rocket. I mean, she suddenly comes to see Elon Musk, puts a rocket on her, and she goes after them all. Then maybe it's you who's gonna have to put a little brake on him and tell him to be careful because this person is coming. It's because he wants everything. And when I say everything is coexistence. You may want to have children, marry, move, or be careful, because I feel that there will be some kind of conflict around here, situation of your environment, of yours, of third persons, of family, of work, personal. There will be some things that are not going to be in order yet. They will not be solved. So it means that you have to let it go. It doesn't mean that at some point maybe somebody's gonna have to try and fight for this. And even this also means that this person struggles for it, and strives, that it doesn't get all that easy. You may also be telling me, well, because if you're someone who's been waiting for a long time, if you have been expecting this person, and you've been rebuilding your life, and you are doing introspection, finding yourself, healing, curing, resuming your life, moving forward, this doesn't mean you're punishing this person, okay? Understand what I'm saying to you? This is not a punishment. This is not an eye for an eye. This is a perfect voucher. But let's not run. We're not going to run. Let's do things right. And I, too, probably need to make sure that this is not an impulsive thought or action, that it is not a capricious desire, not an ephemeral wish, that the steps and the foundations you're building are real and that it's really what you want. Let's go a little bit. I'm going to see it. I'm going to go understanding it, and at the moment I can see that there are no more conflicts, that there is no more situations of doubt, that no longer there are fears, that it is no longer confrontations, that everything is really what it is. Let's go for it. So, this is a recommendation, and I'm feeling it for you, okay? I repeat, it is not a punishment, not for you to punish, not to tell him because now you are going to wait for me, because that is not love. If you really feel that way, you don't want this person. What you want is to punish her. Then it be for you. If you want to be with this person and suddenly this person sees that he comes like a rocket towards you, that he wants everything and that he is determined, perfect, but you don't run, you do not run, and let him see that it's not the effusive peace that he isn't living, the euphoria that doesn't have too much joy, that it is not good to live in euphoria, because then you have a crush, and you return to reality, and then everything seems very sad to you. Well, you have to be careful not to have too much effusivity, also with emotions, because it is also negative. We have to find a balance. What about the parties? Per the dates indicated can sometimes make us exalt those emotions that magnify. As I said in Big Brother, everything is magnified. It is true at specified times and on specified dates things, emotions, feelings are also magnified. Then, just the caution not to run. Not to fly as this person would like, because it comes very determined. Okay, perfect. And we're going to follow the steep path, so that we can integrate and consolidate what you finally want to consolidate with me. Is that right? Let's see, in conclusion, what does the energy oracle mean to you? See, with this pull so loud, so intense, so instantaneous that I just felt. Let's see what he means to you. To conclude, let's see what last tip message you have for you to leave the letter of leave. Well, how curious it seems to me, because be careful that counsel is prudence. Keep a little distance. Keep a little distance. Keep a little calm. Don't let yourself be dragged by momentary euphoria. This letter of departure may be speaking to us for certain people who are no longer living with this person, who have been living with that person for a while. That has been a long time, that you are already doing something else. If you're on something else, don't get into conflict or trouble by accepting something that isn't for you anymore. Go. Let it go. If it's no longer for you, if you don't like it anymore, if you no longer want it, if it no longer brings you, if he no longer adds to you, let go, or it would also be the advice. With regard to the last advice you have given me, it is worth going on in the aspect of allowing things to happen calmly, allowing everything to go slowly, to settle down. So for me, this leaving would not be leaving and leaving this person. It would be keeping a slight distance and a little calm to see if from the distance, from not allowing to be already from the minute zero. So this person continues to maintain the same feelings and ideas and the same desire for us. Okay, wherever you identify yourself, the message is clearly for you. So scenario 2, I hope with all my heart that I've been able to help you, and I send you a super big kiss and hug. So don't miss it. Subscribe to my channel me over there so you don't lose the link. To be able to sign up, you had a meeting with me. It's not always good to adjust, so I invite you to do it. And having said this, I say goodbye to you. And if you want to stay now a few minutes in a little council that we will talk, because I expect you and otherwise a very big kiss, and see you in the next video. Hello again, we're here with the rabbit, with the talk. Are you seeing a mudra here? This is the Buddha I asked for today to help us, but first wanted to talk. Today the talk is going to be brief because I do not want to get bored, but it is something that seems to me very interesting and often also generates a lot of confusion. Because when we talk about mindfulness to you that comes to your head, I am sure that you are coming to do yoga, some rare posture of yoga, to breathe or meditate like the monks or things like that, because it is a little what sells us or what society, the movies, etc., have sold us, like that. The mindfulness, or what is to meditate, is simply to sit in a chair and have the empty mind with how difficult it is not or to be doing. I don't know the posture. I do not know what to do yoga while you have nothing in your head, but then as thoughts pass you already get angry and you already think that you can't meditate. Today I came to break that myth, a bit because I also passed before studying the mindfulness course. It happened to me too. It was also of those I thought you could only meditate by emptying your head. And indeed it is something that is achieved, but it requires a lot of practice as well as learning to drive. Learn to sew, I know, to learn to play an instrument. Training requires consistency and requires daily practice in order to it. I have to acknowledge that I have managed to do some meditations and many minutes. Moreover, when you manage to meditate and connect to the universal source of energy, you get the time you don't realize. I have come to meditate as 15-20 minutes in a row that have passed me as 2 or 3 minutes, and in addition, I have said oysters. I'm going to stop, which is that I don't even know what time it is. And it was just the time that I had to do something and say my mother. It makes me I went flying. But this after years and years, but that's not to discourage it. It's for you to try. But I came to tell you meditation it's a state. I'm going to read it to you. Well, I've pointed it. Meditation is a state, a place of intense, deep peace within the body, spirit and soul. It's inner peace, a higher state of consciousness. Okay, all right, that's the literal translation of what meditation is. But today I'm coming to tell you, or come to propose, how can you meditate? The first thing I'm going to ask you is, what do you like? For example, do you like physical activity? Do you like training? You like dancing? Do you like fencing? Do you like footing? You like playing tennis paddle? You like pilates yoga? Physical activity is one of the most powerful ways of meditating we have. When you are mainly doing some kind of sport where you have to be very attentive and paying a lot of attention, you are meditating. If, for example, you train strength training and you have to be gaining a lot of weight, you will need to be very focused or very concentrated for the posture, for the repetitions, and above all, it will hurt you so physically that you will not have time to think. Then I laugh because it is so, because it happens to me and it makes me funny. Because when you're done training, you say how loudly, how I couldn't think of anything but how I hurt the repetition, the last or the penultimate. You can also meditate by praying if you like praying, if you love prayer, which is also a very powerful way of meditating, even writing. If instead of praying you like to write, for example, have your Thanksgiving notebook either in the morning, in the evening, a little bit for you and you write, or what you expect from the day, or at the end of the night. How grateful or gratified you are for what has happened to you. Day. If, for example, you train strength training and you have to be gaining a lot of weight, you will need to be very focused or very concentrated for the posture, for the repetitions, and above all, it will hurt you so physically that you will not have time to think. Then I laugh because it is so. Because it happens to me, and it makes me funny, because when you're done training you say how loudly, how I couldn't think of anything but how I hurt the repetition, the last or the penultimate. You can also meditate by praying if you like praying, if you love prayer, which is also a very powerful way of meditating, even writing. If instead of praying you like to write, for example, have your Thanksgiving notebook either in the morning, in the evening a little bit for you and you write, or what you expect from the day, or along, or at the end of the night, how grateful or gratified you are for what has happened to you that day. They are also very powerful things that help you to focus on the present and be thinking only of one thing at a time. So pray or write, very, very powerful, even walking. If you are walking, and as I told you before, for example, you are on the walking tape, or you go for a walk, and for instance, because you do not put on helmets, or music, or anything, you simply allow yourself to be with your five senses feeling, and you are thinking about what you are seeing and talking to yourself, but not about your problems, what you have to do, about what comes to you, about what you did. You're not going to be thinking about what you're seeing. Look at that, look at the other, what you're hearing, that noise, that bird, that car, that dog. You're gonna be smelling. Yeah, it smells good if it stinks bad, if it is airy when it's hot, if you're cold. All those sensations you're going to be living in the present. And that's meditating. Performing mantras or singing is powerful. I love singing. I like singing very much, and in fact one of the purposes that I set myself last year that I did not fulfill and I fulfilled this year was finally to apply for singing classes, and that is something I do for and for myself, because I love to sing. I loved singing all my life, and I had never allowed it, and finally I allow it. When you are singing or when you are saying a mantra, you are only focused or concentrated on the song, on the lyrics, so you're meditating and you don't know it, but you are meditate because you are not thinking about anything other than the action you are doing. Even if you are in the kitchen watching a recipe and making a recipe with a video, you are only focusing on the recipe. You're meditating. You realize that meditating is not just sitting on a pillow with your feet crossed and saying all the time, and you are. It's not much more, even breathing exercises. There's one thing I loved. I discovered when all this came to us. You already know what this bird is talking about in all this world situation. I discovered something that's called truth. It's like inner dance, and it's classes that through music you dance with your breath. It may sound a little strange, but I promise you I discovered some real sessions of the soundtrack composer of Jan Zimmer, a composition of his soundtracks, and with the breaths included in such a way that they were guiding you and were telling you how to breathe throughout the session. Well, then it's one of the most incredible things I've done in my life, and I can swear it is true that I haven't done it for a long time. But the times I did those sessions, I ended up crying, feeling love and peace, like I'd never done, with my body vibrating from the amount of blood flow and oxygen I had generated in my body. And the meditation I was doing, which was 40 and peak minutes, you passed like it was 3. Spectacular. In addition to focusing through counting or through feeling your body, you can put some weight on your body and focus on getting your stomach up and down, because that object or that doll or whatever doesn't fall. That's a meditation that's used a lot with the kids, bowing them down, putting them on, telling them to put a peluche on the tripe, and encouraging them to take diaphragmatic breath. You go upstairs, you fill your stomach with air. He holds this second, you release it, and then you have to concentrate on getting your hairy up and down. But it doesn't fall, because the kids love and meditate for a lot of time with that funny gesture, and it's good for people too. What else? The reflection. As I said before, diving is very good and reflecting too. But as long as we maintain the balance in the balance where the reflections or divagations do not get us into a loop in which we end up thinking when 7 years ago someone betrayed me, and what he did to me, and I already get to suffer. And what he did to me and I already get to suffer, and then I start to get into that negativity and in that loop. anything that's going to get us into loops. Little by little, we have to re-educate and restructure so that we do not stay there. Everything is little by little, step by step, one thing at a time, one day at a time. I have been a few years and I still have a way, but I feel very satisfied that I have started, that one day I proposed and started. And like me, if you haven't started yet, start today with this same mantra, which is also called eternal change and tells you it will pass. Mudra of the Wheel of Life. Dharma Chakra Mudra exercises a calming and relaxing effect at any level and gives equanimity. Place your hands in front of your chest with your right palm facing out. The right hand is slightly higher than the left that looks inside. There's a season of rains and storms that then passes, and the same is true of suffering and pain. It is recommended that we simply try to accept the pain and, despite everything, give the best of ourselves here and now. I speak out of experience. Visualize yourself next to the wheel of life. Whenever you breathe, gently blow the wheel to make it spin and get it to bring you a new, interesting, and cheerful period. I concentrate my 5 senses on everything that is beautiful and gives me pleasure,